Okay. Well, that's it. Let's see if Mike is on here, and we'll just let him tell his story as to how he got involved with us. Hi, Mike.
Hi, how you doing?
Great.
Good to talk to you, Patrick.
Look like you're out by a waterfall somewhere.
Oh yeah, yep. It's it's a nice warm day today. I figured I'd just sit outside. You got to love the backgrounds, huh?
Yeah, Mike is is it Nashville or just outside Nashville?
Outside of Nashville, about an hour away from Nashville, Tennessee.
Ah, okay.
Love it here.
What kind of population is there in the city you're in?
Yeah, so the city that I'm in, it's about 35,000 people. But what I love about it is it's still a smaller town, but we're 40 minutes away from Murfreesboro, which is growing like a weed. Tennessee, so many people are moving to Tennessee, and it's this middle Tennessee area that they're moving to. So we have everything around us, but we still kind of feel a little bit more rural, which is really nice.
Yeah, it's pretty country up there. I know. Yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Beautiful. It doesn't hurt that I'm 15 minutes away from Jack Daniels either, but that's a side story. I won't get into that.
From where? Jack Daniels, did you say?
Yeah, from Lynchburg, Tennessee. Yes.
Oh, is that right? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, now somebody's typing in here. Hayden's typing in no sound. So I don't know what is going on there. I think everybody else can still hear us. Let's see if anybody puts that in their notes.
Yeah, please let us know. Hopefully. I know I can hear you, Patrick. Fine.
Yeah, he's the only one that's saying that. Okay, now I got a thumbs up floating up there. I guess that was him, maybe. Oh, okay. Yeah, Marianne says she can hear me. Okay, good.
Okay, good.
Yeah. May have his speakers turned down. So, Mike, tell us about you. You got involved with us just early this year, right? In May?
Yeah, I signed the contract in May, and actually really started going at it in the end of August. So it's only been a couple months.
And you just found us on the internet out there under owner of franchise site or something?
Yeah, so really I was looking, I work for a big corporation and in sales, and it was just one of those things where, I think a lot of people now are just getting really burnt out. And it's something where I've always had kind of an entrepreneur spirit. My parents have owned a business in the past. I've done some things on the side, Yeah. So I started looking, and I looked on the internet, and I was looking for franchises. And quite honestly, I didn't want to spend too much. I wasn't in a position where I could spend, $500,000 or $1 million for a big franchise. I didn't want to do something like that. And, it was funny. You were talking about how you started in 94, doing the billing. I started paying claims back in 93 is where I started. And it was just one of those things that was kind of in my background, and the price was great. The fact that it didn't have ongoing fees was nice. Honestly though, Patrick, it was a little bit of a concern for me at first, knowing what the price was, and then there was no ongoing fees, because I figured the support might not be there then. But that is definitely not the case, and we can talk about that more. But
services, the services that I showed earlier, those are all, you make money on all of those, and we do too. So works out good for everybody.
Yeah, exactly. It does. And it's really nice that we can take different things into the doctor's offices. So it's not just something where you're going in going, hey, I can help you out with billing and that's it. No, if you're having issues with whatever the case may be, getting people in, referrals, with the auto card, that's a great service, that we offer. And, compliancy, HIPAA compliancy, because so many doctors are, not compliant. They would fail HIPAA audits. So we can offer that, quick collect, the whole 9 yards. We don't have to get into all the products, but all the solutions that we have. But it's nice that there's more solutions that we can offer. Some are a good foot in the door with the doctors, and others are good add-ons, to help increase that revenue for the doctors. Yeah.
So you indicated earlier that you had gotten well, you sign a contract, and of course there's some preparation stuff that you have to get your business cards and get your website all set up through us and so forth. But you really didn't get out there and market because you were working a full-time job.
Correct.
And so you didn't really get started till sometime in August.
Yeah, it was at the end of August really is when I decided, okay, well, I decided a little bit before that, but the end of August is when I just went all in and said, you know what, this is set up really well. I have the support behind the scenes. So, you know, I was saying, and to talk about the support really quick, I was saying how one of the things when I was looking at ABS, I saw the fact that there was no ongoing fees. I assumed you're going to take, you know, 10%, a percent, whatever the case may be, of the ongoing fee, so that way you made money and you would support me. Well, you know, in talking and doing a little bit of research with some of the other ABS owners at the time, you know, I could feel the fact that you guys were going to support us. So, you know, you get, again, like you said, Patrick, you know, there's other ways that you make money. You know, again, the clearinghouse, you know, the different systems, things like that. So again, it's still in your, you know, in your best interest, of course, to support us as well. But there's just so many ways that you do. And again, so many offerings that we have out there that it just makes it so nice. And I feel confident going into a doctor that, well, I may not 100% know what I'm talking about, but if a question comes up, I know how to get an answer so that I can get that back to the doctor.
Yes, that's the thing is you've always got us. You can always refer to us, the company, and all of our support people as your team. Let me get back with the insurance specialist on my team, or if you want to give a demo to a doctor, we can do the demo for you. You know, you get back with your demo team. So yeah. People don't realize that we have a vested interest in you being successful. Yes, we make money on the initial license fee, but once that's spent, which my wife can spend that pretty quick, really, then what do you do?
I'm not going there, Patrick. I'm not going there.
What's the ongoing revenue? You got to have some ongoing. And the way franchises do it, of course, is they charge a royalty and an advertising fee each month. And then if you are buying your supplies from them, like cups and napkins and things like that, they make money on all that stuff. We literally don't make any money on any of our marketing materials. After you've gone through the 2,000 pieces of marketing materials that we ship to you, if you need more, you can order them, but they're just basically through our printer. And so you're just paying them direct at the printing cost that you get anywhere.
Right. Yeah, that's one of the things I'm glad you brought that up too, to talk about that real quick, Patrick. I was really surprised at the amount of things that I get along with, you know, being able to offer the billing. Okay. So again, you know, the books that you guys will ship, you know, we can have our names in it, different marketing materials. So, you know, I'm going out and hiring sales reps. I can send them that information too. And it's not costing me an arm and a leg to do that, to onboard, you know, people onto my company. So again, it's a really nice thing to be able to offer. And again, you know, you always talk about how you really try to make it under $30,000 that you have to spend on this. It truly is. I have a back room full of some stuff, you know, books and different things that I have that I've been able to get through you guys. And outside of my initial fee, I haven't paid another dime into it. Now, eventually we'll get there. That's the goal, grow enough to have to pay a little bit, you know, for the shipping and stuff, go through all the supplies. But again, it's great. And really quick, and I know you're showing the book here, but just to talk about the fee, I mean, there was nothing else that I saw out there that had this type of, you know, entry fee. You know, if you're looking at a franchise, and I looked at quite a few of them, you know, this one was priced very nice. You know, it is something where, again, you can get this started, and really you just need one doctor and you're going to make your money back in, you know, less than a year.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We've got people who show an ROI on their investment within the first 6, 9 months, even. So it just
Right.
depends on what kind of doctor you sign up. One
Exactly.
licensee, the first doctor they signed up was a hospitalist. That's just a doctor who they don't have an office. They just go see patients in the hospital, and they're a specialist usually of some kind. And this doctor was billing $100,000 a month.
Wow.
So, at 7, 8%, whatever charge for that, that's not a bad client to start out with.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Now, your client, your first client was a physical therapist, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. That's right. Mhm.
And so, what kind of volume does she do as far as numbers of claims or dollar amount? Give us a feel for that.
Sure. Yeah. So this particular client, is smaller, but she's doing about $12,000 in claims a month. And with this one, I'm able to charge her a little bit more than what we normally would, a little bit more than that 7 and 8%. So, again, it's some decent revenue coming in. But again, it's one of the reasons why, again, I like ABS and how it's set up. When I was going through everything with, gaining information from this physical therapist, I went back, worked with Tim, with the practice analysis. And, we were able to figure out where that sweet spot was going to be, where, again, we were able to increase my physical therapist revenue every single month, and then also make it so that I'm making a couple extra dollars off of it then. Yeah. So it was nice. And Tim over in support there, you have others, but it's one of those things that it's nice because he really helped me understand where the market was. Okay. For this particular person, I'm charging 10%. I was thinking, well, maybe I want to charge her 15 because she was just in a little bit of a different situation where she was being charged a lot. So it was in the 30s as far as her billing percent. Wow. But again, so it was one of those things where they were doing other things for her as well, and she kind of outgrew that beginning package that they offered, if that makes sense. Yeah. So again, I was able to go in there, but Tim was great too, and just saying, hey, you really don't want to go over that 10% mark. You can, it's your business, you do what you want, but you really don't want to go over that, because if you do get somebody else in there, they're going to really kind of embarrass you. So again, as we were talking about this, Patrick, again, that's what I like about ABS. You said it before, and I've experienced it. I can do what I want with my business. I can charge what I want. If I want to charge a setup fee, if I want to do whatever. But what's nice is we have the expertise of other owners who have been there, done that, gone through it, and they can advise us, and ABS support as well. They can advise us of, does this make sense or not? And what potential issues might you run into if you do what you are thinking about doing here?
Yeah, we don't hire anybody that's just off the street, so to speak. Our support people all come from a background in medical billing. And as you know, Tim and his wife have been licensees just like you are for, I don't know, 8 years or so. And then at one point, he said, I could help you guys out. We had another guy in support, and he found another job or something. And so we were kind of stuck. And Tim said, I can do that support. I know enough about this business to answer any question. And so that was, I don't know, 6 years ago. He's been with us quite some time now, full time. Yeah.
He's excellent. Tim does a great job.
He is.
And again, it's family, Patrick. You know what? When you come into this, you're taken care of. And you guys aren't paying me to say this. I promise you, everybody, it's not that. It's honestly how I feel. I know I got into the right franchise with this. Again, I do have a background. I used to work for an insurance company processing claims. Okay, not billing, but processing them, and then moved into healthcare sales and working in pharmaceutical sales recently. So, I've kind of had that knowledge, but this is all set up. Even if you don't have that knowledge, you can get into it. it is something that you can do. And it's not, I mean, $30,000 is still a lot of money, don't get me wrong. But again, when you're looking at this type of, when you're looking at a franchise, again, this is something where you can recoup your investment relatively quickly, even if you don't want to grow to be too big. And I want to grow to be big, but that's another story.
One step at a time. That's all you can do.
One step at a time, though. Correct. Yeah. Correct.
Did you look at other types of businesses? What other were you thinking about before you got involved with this?
Yeah, so I did look at a couple of other ones. It probably started a couple of years ago. I started looking, and a buddy and myself, we started looking at a Jimmy John's franchise, believe it or not.
Oh, Jimmy John's, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the sandwiches. That's where we kind of started. And at the time, it didn't really make a lot of sense. One of the two of us would have to quit the job. It's a big training that you have to go through. You have to be on site, so it's not off, hands off, anything like that.
Yeah.
And then more recently, I did look into ATMs. I looked into other things like that, a little bit more passive, and then also a little bit more hands-on. So there were a few of them that I wound up looking into. But again, either the dollar amount was well over $100,000, to buy into the franchise, or it was just something where I just felt like there really wasn't a good support system there.
Yeah, boy, that's where a lot of companies fail. They'll tell a good story up front, but when it really comes down to support, they'll do everything they can to get you to not call them, and get off the phone. And whereas we have people that actually call and reach out to our existing licensees saying, hey, we hadn't heard from you for a while. What can we do to help you? We're proactive in our support. And as you know, there's support people with all the companies I mentioned earlier that are all over the United States. I mean, we literally have over 100 companies that here's a picture of one of our support teams out in California. This is the Next Gen folks. And that is our software that you see there on that screen. These people are there to support our people and, of course, medical doctors that they work with. They have a legacy system, which is different from our iClaim EMRX. It's for big hospitals and things like that. And so they have a lot of support people, but they're all there to, answer calls and answer questions for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, so it's been great. And I think, going back to it too, now that I'm, part of the family, again, I just the support has been the best thing. The fact that I can pick up the phone, and if I have an issue, if I'm just not quite thinking of things right, or I don't know if I'm thinking about it right or not, it's picking up that phone and making sure that I can get that answer is really key.
Well, just to have somebody to bounce ideas off of, that's worth a lot right there. And since our support people do have, we have another fellow, Jeff Bruner, that just joined us recently. He's also a licensee and has been for, 2 or 3 years. So again, we use people who are actually running their own business so that they can tell you what works and what doesn't work. And all of our people have so many clients, they don't need any more. In fact, they've had to kind of turn around and tell other licensees about, referrals that they get. So if you want some of those, I can point them your way, Mike.
Oh, hey, I'm game for that. That sounds good to me. Let's talk, Patrick.
Yeah. Now you had some other services that you mentioned when we were talking offline. Was it Compliancy Guard? Is that the one that you offer?
Yeah. So I was able to work with a startup, and one of the things that we did actually is credentialing, and then also accreditation. So those were the accreditation part is what we offer. Jay does an amazing job, with credentialing. So that's what I was able to offer. So again, when you're kind of going back and you're looking at different things, this was a a startup that I'm working with. They do durable medical equipment. And if I could only offer the billing part of it, I probably would not have gotten this particular client. But I was able to get them because I was able to help them start from scratch. So, offer them some information. They've done a lot of research on their own as well, but offer them information on what they need to do to be a durable medical equipment provider. And then again, through the support that I was able to get through the services that we have, we're setting them up. And we're still going through the whole process here, but we're setting them up with the accreditation, with credentialing, so that way they can start billing. And they have a goal to be getting in the millions here in 12 months. So that'll be a nice little client once that gets going as well.
You bet. You might actually have to hire some people to help with that.
Well, that's the goal. I mean, and Patrick, to talk about that really quick, I like the fact that I could just be a one-man shop if I really wanted to be, and get a couple of clients, maybe through some friends. But how I'm building my business and what I'm trying to accomplish, I really want to get to the fact where I have maybe 10, 12 employees. So, I don't want to be a Fortune 500 company. I've worked for them. I don't want that, but I mean, I really do want to get to a point where, I've hired a couple of salespeople now, and, I'd love to hire a biller or two. I really like doing the sales. I like meeting people. I like developing relationships. I love doing analysis. In fact, I almost became an actuary. I kind of discovered that, in college, but then I realized I had a personality. So I knew I couldn't do actuarial work. Sorry. I like joking around, as you guys can tell. But anyway, so, I like doing the sales part. Now I need to know my business. So I'm paying claims now, as I'm selling. But again, like I said, I've hired a couple of salespeople and teaching them how to sell, how we do things. So, I have my LinkedIn account, which Cynthia does such a great job, in training us. And she was able to help me with my LinkedIn just to make it more professional. Tell me when to post. I post once a week to doctors. I don't want to be over, just killing them with information, and, out there going, hey, I do medical billing, come find me type thing. It's providing them information, but not going overboard with it as well. And actually, before the call here, I was just looking at my phone, and my last LinkedIn message that I sent out, has like close to 100 views to it. And I wasn't getting that type of, contact before. So what's nice is I know that I'm having doctors, seeing this out there. I'm connecting with a lot more doctors than I ever have before, obviously with LinkedIn as well. So while maybe I'm not getting the likes, different things like that, I know these doctors are seeing that information, and soon enough, I'm going to get referrals from LinkedIn. I'm very confident of that. And again, it's because of that system that you guys have put in. So for me, again, I'm going out and, going to my local doctors and letting them know that I'm here, but I'm doing it targeted. So what I do is I research the doctor ahead of time, and then I go in and I say, hey, for example, this one particular dentist, they're the third biggest dentist in my town. Okay. So I went in there and I said, hey, you guys have great reviews. People love you guys. Your Google reviews are very good. You have a 4.8, rating out there, but, you have 12 reviews. I said, one of the bigger offices around here, the biggest one, they're a couple of hundred. I have a solution where I can help you increase those reviews, where we can get you up to that size as well, or get you a lot closer to that size. And that the people, again, you treat them right. You guys do a great job to where, again, your rating is going to stay there or go up. And what do people do? This central Tennessee area, people are moving to. What's the two things you do when you're looking for a doctor? You look, are they in my network? And what's their rating? And the more ratings you have and the higher rating you have, the more of a chance you're gonna go to that person.
Yeah. We've got some great questions here coming in directly for you. One of them, though, is kind of a generic one here, but maybe you could give us some input on this, Mike. This is from Richard. Richard says a lot of physicians belong to large networks or hospital affiliated groups who have their own large scale billing operations. Given that, how do you obtain clients?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. So if you go to my LinkedIn, you'll see that I'm actually targeting dentist as my main expertise, what I'm going after. And again, I think doctors respect the fact when you specialize in things, okay? Because for the most part, that's what doctors do as well. Okay. And again, I've learned this all through Cynthia. She does an awesome job training, but again, following kind of the system. So I'm going after dentists. So for me with dentists, I know that, and there's that Dentamax. So that's what I try to really, really push there too. But with dentists, they were actually hit really hard with COVID, and they have reduced staffs because of it. Dentists tend to be more single providers, or, maybe two providers, something like that. So again, for me, I'm building that niche out. Now you see, I have a physical therapist and DME are my first clients. So it isn't the dental, but that's what I'm focused on and what I'm doing. And I have a couple of power partners as well that, I'm working with them to get some of their clients in. So to kind of talk about that, some of the larger ones may be kind of tough, but, you can still research the more independent doctors. I still think, we could help a big hospital system reduce their costs. But again, that's a little bit harder to get into. So, I think one of the things that you can do if you're really looking for, medical doctors as well is, do you have, a school around, kind of catch the doctors a little bit early and get them to, use your billing, help them to be more independent than having to go with a large hospital system and being tied into them and their reimbursements. So, again, I've taken the position of kind of going after the dentist because I see that being a great niche where I can make a difference with that. But again, the large hospital systems, obviously very tough to get into. I have a friend, who I thought I might be able to talk into, but he works for, a larger hospital system. And, so I don't have him as a client, but there's still plenty of smaller doctors out there. And even though, you're seeing some of the doctors going into the larger, hospital systems, they're buying some doctors up and some practices. I think it's really twofold. For one, you can have an offering out there to these doctors to help them stay independent and make more money. But also, there's plenty of doctors that are starting up and they want to be independent, so you have as many going into individual practices, or smaller practices, which is really our sweet spot, as you do those going into, the big hospital systems like Vanderbilt around here, Yeah.
We've had licensees sign up, fairly decent sized groups. I remember one that had 30 providers. So that's a pretty good sized group.
Yeah,
it wasn't a hospital. Group. It was just a big group of doctors who'd gotten together, and they were not happy with their billing, and they were doing it in house, and they decided just to outsource the whole thing. And boy, they started bringing in a whole lot more money because you have a motive, right? Every dollar that you bring in for the doctor, you get, a percentage of that. So, whereas there are people that work inside their office, they're lucky to get lunch breaks,
Right. Yeah. That's a great point. And that's very true. So our incentives are tied to them. We increase their revenue. Okay. We make more money. They make more money. So it really is a win-win situation.
Yeah. Jay says, hi, Mike. You mentioned that you had a background working with insurance companies. What would what would you share as some key points that you knew about medical billing that served as a great advantage? I think he's assuming that you had a lot of background with the insurance companies as a medical biller, but you didn't, did you?
Yeah, so I actually paid claims. So I guess the advantage that I kind of had is I understand what a CPT code is. I understand what a diagnosis code is. So I understand kind of the, CMS 1500 form. So I had a little bit of that background, but I stopped paying claims in 99. So it's been a little bit of time since, I've actually paid the claims. But I think it kind of helps in a way that, I can go back and I have maybe a little bit more credibility with the doctors from the standpoint that I have that knowledge. But really quick, Patrick, on that note, a little bit of a side, taking a little sideways, but that's what I think really helps with partnering with ABS, because I can go into places and, okay, yeah, technically I'm 5 months old, my company, but I'm 30 years old, with the support that I get. So you're going in, and we're not saying we're ABS, I'm Jones Medical Consulting, okay, but we have that background, we have that and backup of you guys, and really, one of the things that I was taught by, I think Tim and probably Cynthia too, but to go in and what, I've opened an office. We're a 30-year-old company, and here's another office that I've opened in this area.
Yeah, it's just
again.
Yes, it's like a State Farm insurance office. The guy may never have sold insurance, but he just opened up an office, and he's tied in with a large network. So we tell people, just tell them right up front, I just opened a local office for the nation's largest network of independent medical billing companies, and I just happen to have a local office here in Chattanooga.
Right.
Yeah. All right, let's see. Here's okay. Jay also says, secondly, what were one or two things that served you well starting with ABS other than their support?
Wow. Yeah, you know what? Well, again, support is key, without a doubt. But without support, it's the different solutions that we can go out with a doctor. So again, if they're just having issues with reviews, so to try to get their reviews on Google to go up, we have the auto card, that we can offer. So it's the different solutions that we can bring. Again, I really go back to my DME, durable medical equipment company that I have too, again, just starting out here. But again, with the fact that I was able to go in and offer them, to help them to start up with the credentialing, with the, accreditation, that allowed me to get in with them. So again, it was multiple offerings, that we had. We also have, the fact that we can go through, Facebook. We have a Facebook group out there. And I just asked a question the other day, that I had some people help me out with, and, different people, I didn't even know who they were, wound up, responding and answered the question that I was looking for. So I know that goes back to, again, support. And I forgot, Jay, I think it was Jay who sent that. So I know I keep going back to the support piece, but again, I would say it's the different offerings that we have. And then, like I'm focusing on the dental. So with Dentamax, I've built a relationship with Brandon over there, and he's done a great job. So I have one of my power partners, and that's somebody who has multiple doctors that they work with. But with that person, I was able to do a training. Brandon got on the phone with me, walk through the whole entire training, because I'm still learning. I couldn't give this training, but Brandon, who works for Dentamax, he wound up doing this training for me to get them comfortable, and they were really impressed, with the Dentamax system. They used, an older system right now, and I'm still working on them, but I'm really hoping to get them over to the Dentamax system and take over their billing as well, because it can just offer so much more than their current dental system.
Yeah, we did a lot of research as a company before we went with Dynamax because we wanted to partner with somebody who's already got something that's been out there a while, but that's leading edge, high tech, cloud based, just like our medical billing. So we've been real happy with Dynamax folks. They really support our licensees, and that's a whole new
Yeah.
market that people don't even think about. There's probably more dentists out there than there are doctors.
Well, I don't think people go after dentists as much as they go after doctors.
No,
you
they
know?
don't. No.
So I thought that was, kind of a key for me as well. But the one thing I'll say though, Patrick, is, with my two salespeople in particular, I have three, but the two salespeople that I have, one has general practice doctors that he has connections with, and I'm not going to turn those down.
Right.
Going to go after those. And then also the other one works with some surgeons. So that's going to be his target. So again, as we're kind of going after different people in different areas, and again, I live in Tennessee. One of my sales reps lives in DC, the other one lives in Florida, and the other one is Texas. So again, it doesn't have to be just local people that I'm working with.
Right.
My one client's in Denver, Colorado, and then the other one's local to me. But again, you can do this. It doesn't have to be your next door neighbor, or the dentist down the street or the doctor down the street that you're working with. You can work in, all 50 states. I just happen to have with the Denver one. Again, like I said, I knew her mom because she was a consultant on one of my clients in my old company, and wound up finding that they had a need, and I was able to, help her out and like I said, increase her revenue.
I know it's fantastic. It's a win-win for everybody. You're helping the doctor increase their revenue. Yep. You're helping the patients in our area stay in contact with doctors who want to be in private practice. And of course, you make money as well. And you can help your friends and relatives if you put some of them to work for you too.
Yeah, that's true too. That is definitely true too.
Let's see. Somebody's asking if we offer on-site training or just remote. We're just remote at this point. It's all virtual training, but you're one-on-one with an instructor. How'd you like Cynthia?
Awesome
Was she
job.
Good.
Cynthia does a great job. She knows what she's talking about. And again, what's nice is she will let you know. So Jay, I think this will be the second point then. She lets you know what to do. So again, doctors aren't on Facebook. So there's no real reason to, focus a lot of your efforts into Facebook. They're on LinkedIn. Yeah. So you want to focus your efforts on LinkedIn and build that up. And again, she tells you how to go in. When I really wasn't paying attention enough to it, I first went in and I went to a couple local, doctors, and I said, hey, yeah, I do medical billing. Here's all the services I can do, and it literally went nowhere. I know it went in one ear out the other. But now I go in targeted. So again, like I said, I went into that dentist office and said, hey, here's what I can help you with, and I know, here's some information about how, COVID has really hurt dental offices. And right away, and I was talking to the office manager, she's like, oh yeah, there's no question about that, so you're kind of speaking their language, and the support that we get through you guys, the training, I should say, that we get through you guys helps so that how to approach the doctors as well, because you really need to speak their language, and their language isn't sell to me. Their language is meet my needs, and that's what Cynthia trains you on how to do that.
Yes, in fact, we tell people if you sign up a specialist that's I don't know, maybe they're a pediatrician specialist of some kind, we've probably got some other licensee already in our network that's billing for that type of doctor, and they're probably in a different part of the country anyway, so they'd be glad to help you. We pay licensees like you, for example, Mike. We pay you to help other licensees. So our coaches are actually existing business owners just like you are. That's one guy.
And I think it's great. And again, really quick, that's what helped me out with my DME person. I had a question durable medical equipment related. And one of the licensee, again, like I said, I didn't know who she was or anything, but she was on that Facebook. She answered me and it got me the exact information I needed because, again, she has done it. So it just helps me to become more of an expert out there.
Yeah. I've got some guy on here that's, I think he's just trolling me. He just says, I assume this guy is getting paid. So, yeah, you're not on the payroll.
I am not on the payroll. You talked about how licensees get paid to help other licensees. I am not on ABS's payroll. Please believe me, I'm not.
Somewhere down the line, if you want to be, we don't mind. Look, the only thing we have in today's world really is our time, right? So when people spend time on things like this interview or coaching other licensees or whatever, I don't mind them billing me for their time. I don't dictate what it is. Of course, if it's too high, it's too ridiculous, I'll probably argue it. But we just let people bill us for whatever they think their time's worth, you know. And today's business world, your time is very valuable, and we know that. Hey, Mike, I'm going to wrap this up with you. It's 4:48. But I did have another question here that, let's see, I'm scrolling through all these. Wow, I've never seen so many questions. Let me.
Well, that's good, right?
Yes, this is great. Good interest in this.
Good.
Let's see. Okay, what is the name of your company, Mike, so that they can go find you on LinkedIn?
Yeah, please do. It's Jones Medical Consulting.
That's simple.
You'll see that I'm hiring there.
Okay, and so
not to say that you need to apply. I just mean that that's how I'm getting the salespeople, and I'm really trying to target medical device salespeople. And then, yeah, Patrick, I pulled it up real quick to the Q&A. I know somebody asked, how I'm paying the salespeople. What I'm doing is I'm doing a percentage. So it's 1099 commission based. So I give them a percentage. Recommended is 10%. But again, we can do whatever we want. I have somebody with some really good, doctors, again, those surgeons. So I decided to pay them a little bit more. I'm going to give them 15%. But again, it's all commission based. So what's nice is there's nothing out of my pocket until they sell. So again, as kind of starting out here, I don't have to pay them $100,000 or, anything like that at all. It's just, that commission base.
That's fantastic. Well, Mike, thank you for sharing your time today. Anything else you want to say to everybody before you go?
Yeah, I just, hey, good luck with whatever you choose. I think, we're seeing a great resignation right now. And, there's a reason for it. There's a lot of layoffs out there, a lot of companies laying off people. And, I just think it's good that when you can have some more control, I like it. I'm going to go away next week and I'll have my computer with me so I can still work a little bit here or there. It makes it really nice. There's always stresses in owning your own business. But if you can do this and keep a job, do this, quitting your job like I did, whatever the case may be, I think it's always really nice. And again, you guys will see if you do choose, ABS here, it's great support and great solutions out there.
Well, I appreciate that, Mike. Thank you very much. Let us know if there's anything we can do to help you, as always.
I appreciate you guys always do. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks again.
All right. Well, thanks. Nice to meet everybody virtually here. So have a good one.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got a few more questions here. Some of them are just to me about the opportunity, so I'll be answering those too. I think, Mike, all you do is just to leave. Is there an end or no?
Okay.
No.
Yep. I'll go ahead and leave then. You guys have a good one and connect with me on LinkedIn. Have a good one, guys.
All right. Appreciate it. Thanks, Mike.
Thanks.